Let's pay homage to the Buddha, the fully enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I will pay respect to the Buddha, the fully enlightened one. Buddha bodhaya diti tantoyo dhammataya sa. Dhammataya tanto dhammantino vadranaya sa. Nibuddho nibbanataya tan lokadrananami. Lokadrano lokathumai kozaya tasu phito mudo. Yo nago Buddha naga miro yadiya sinde yatotha chin myaswa phayati. Buddha thissa li kuro rai thu twin ti myin tormu bi phit yue. Bodhaya sa chutai tatu bobolu do kotu tin lin ti ja ba se chin chu nga lagao. Tanto kuro ga bin yin chi tormu bi phit yue. Dhammataya sa chutai tatu bobolu do kotu me yuen yin chi ja se chin nga lagao. Tanto kurai ga bin kilita upu khate nyin tormu bi phit yue. Dhammataya sa chutai tatu bobolu do kotu me yuen kilita pu nyin ja ba se chin nga lagao. Dino wa tandaya nawan karajango. Kutan thok chao kuro rai yauk pi phit yue ta layin. Dharanaya sa kuro thatu chutai tu ro nibu tawan ma ve kando. Kutan thok chao yauk ja ba se chin chu nga lagao. Nibuddho kileta pranibban win san yuk te. Kuro rai e nyin tormu bi phit yue. Nibbanataya sa kuro thatu we ne lu ro pu khate nyin ja ba se chin chu nga lagao. Dhammam ne sin li na dhamma sakko. Dete di karuna shita metta phit ho cha tormu khet ba pe. Lokadarana lokathumai kozaya tasu phito mudo. Dhanagam Buddha naga miro yadiya sinde yatothato myaswa phyago. Nami namami ko no nalong thong song pyaung pyo. Mango sho yue kado myan no let song mo yue. Shikho unyo pa I myaswa phya myaswa phya.
Okay, let me ask the first questions related to the nimitta and jhanas. Is it possible for a meditator to see the Patipaka nimitta without seeing the Ukkaha nimitta?
We should understand two ways. For some, those whose barami is very, very deep, they may get delight, or they may be able to develop concentration very quickly. Immediately see better light or strong light. But normally, in general, every meditator, because of the development of the concentration, the concentrated mind produces the light. Initially, it is not bright one, it is grey or it is a little bit smoky white. We can say it is Ogaha Nimitta. At that time, they need to continue focusing on the breath as usual to develop further concentration. By doing so, the smoky white will become white. The light may be somewhere in front of the face, not near to the nostril. At that time, they should continue focus just on the breath. By doing so, the light will become stable and will come closer to the nostril. And finally, it will unify with the breath. At that time also, the light may not be very strong yet. But when the unification lasts for 30 minutes, at that time we can say that the unification becomes stable. At that time, meditators should switch awareness on the nimitta from the breath. By focusing on the nimitta continuously longer time, the light will become brighter and stronger. It may be different according to individual paramis too. Some, they need to take time to make it bright. Some within a short time, they may get strong light. That's why in general, every meditators, they go step by step.
Next question. If a meditator is only able to go into full concentration, that means full absorption, for a short time, can he or she proceed to go into the second jhana or learn insight meditation?
Meditators are never allowed to proceed to higher jhana without practicing masteries for each jhana. For all the beginner, they need to practice masteries. Without practicing the mastery, if they are allowed to practice higher jhana, they cannot sustain the lower jhana and they cannot proceed or they cannot attain higher jhana too. That's why only by spending short time absorption concentration, it is not suitable to proceed to the higher jhana.
Thank you, Bhante. Next question. If a meditator does not have a jhana, can he or she see the rupa kalapas with their naked eye?
For some meditators, because of their past practice or past barami, even though they practice not the way taught by the Buddha, but the way taught by the new generation teachers, they may see the rupa kalapas in their body. But as they didn't practice systematically 4 elements meditation, even though they see the rupa kalapa, they don't know how to analyze the ultimate materiality that exists in each kalapa. That's why without jhana absorption concentration, at a certain time, according to individual parami, even though they practice some of the tradition, they may see the kalapa. It is according to their parami.
Next question. If someone could attain jhana very well during his lifetime, but because of sickness, old age or accident, he could not enter jhana anymore when he is near to his death moment, if this person dies, can he be reborn in the Brahma realm?
Impossible. They need to maintain their jhana concentration up to the near-death moment. Only then he can expect to be reborn in the Brahma realm.
This has a need to enter jhana.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, second question. Who and where are the Virupatas, Iravatas, Satyapatas, and Kanha mentioned in the Kanda Sutta?
They are just the chief of the Naga. Both of all together, 4 kinds of Naga. They are chief of the Naga to share merits or to radiate metta towards them. They are just chief of Naga. They live in their place. They are also animals. Okay? So they live in the animal realm. You can think wherever you like.
They're not here already, right?
Yeah?
Are they still around? This question is on Sila. Are we breaking our Sila, the first precept, Anatipata, if we don't help a being who is in distress and dies as a result of it? For example, we are passing a person who had an accident, lying on the ground, and then intentionally decide not to help and continue on our path. Or, for example, we see an animal trapped, dying in a cruel way, yet we ignore and continue on our way. Are we thereby indirectly depriving these beings from life? And if not, how to deal with remorse, which may develop in our mind as a result of not helping these people?
What is killing? There must be some conditions to do or to commit killing. We know that it is a living being. We have intention to kill. We kill or we let someone kill, and then that person die. All these conditions are met, it is killing action. Even though we want to save, even though we want to help, if we have no right conditions, it is impossible. We are not killing, just we encounter difficulty to do helping. Because of this reason, if these conditions are not met, it will not be killing.
Okay, next question is also on Sila. If we walk in the forest and see a deer running to the left, and 1 minute later a hunter comes and asks, which direction did the deer run? And we point to the right with our arm without saying anything. Is it not Musawada?
What do you think? What they call white lie. For about this question, if someone told someone with the good intention to help both parties, they may have good intention. I repeat it. The one who sees the deer run to the left, and the hunter asks the one who sees or the one who saw, do you see to which direction the deer run? The one who saw the deer give an answer. Before giving the answer, This thought arose in his mind, but it is very quick. I know. To which direction the deer ran. But if I say the truth, the hunter is going to kill. He's going to commit killing. The deer will be dying. There will be undesirable things happen. Because of this reason, I will tell him to help both of them, to save both of them from danger. We can say he has good intention, but he is not telling the truth.
So he's still lying.
Lying is lying.
Okay, next question. In this tradition, there are nowadays no bhikkhunis due to the moment in time when there were no bhikkhunis left, and it takes the bhikkhuni to ordain one. Question is, who ordained the first bhikkhuni? The second question, are there conditions that will enable women to become part of the Sangha again?
Now in Theravada tradition, only those who want to live ordained life, they can ordain as a nun. If they practice like an ordained person, if they practice like a bhikkhuni, also they can do too. But it is just our mind that inclined to live ordained life. So if we behave like an ordained person, so we will be ordained person. Even though we ordain as a bhikkhu, if we don't live like an ordained person, if we don't behave like an ordained person, you're just wearing the robes, you will not be a real bhikkhu. For that reason, if we want to live ordained life, we should behave like an ordained person. Even though after ordaining as a Sayali, if they practice most of the rules practiced by the bhikkhuni, it will be beautiful for them too. It will be good for their practice, and they can prevent themselves in many things which is dangerous for them. That's why for about Bhikkhuni Sangha, it is not available in the Theravada Sangha. Because of this reason, we don't want to discuss about this.
Okay, since Bhante is talking about ordained life, can I ask Bhante this question? Please explain how to be happy living an ordained life, even though there is not much improvement in meditation practice.
There is one senior bhikkhu who is not here. He chose to live ordained life. The first reason, and when he was a layman, he made his living trying to keep his morality, but he found out that it is very difficult to observe even the 5 precepts as a layman. Because of this reason, he was afraid of all the actions that he needed to do in his daily life when he was making his living. As he become aware that it is very difficult to practice morality even for 5 precepts purely as a layman. Because of this reason, he wanted to protect himself from falling into 4 states. Because of this reason, he decided to live ordained life. So he practiced morality purely, his best. That's why if we see the beauty of practicing bhikkhus' morality, we will be happy spending bhikkhus' life. If we are unhappy, even with the training of bhikkhus' rules, our daily life will be very unhappy life. That's why if we are happy with morality, bhikkhus' morality, we will be happy spending our life as a bhikkhu.
Next question. Offering material things is wholesome deed. As an ordained person, we live depending on the donors. How should we make use of our allowable requisites for the benefit of ourselves and the donor?
Donors. This is the basic thing that we all, as an ordained persons or as a meditators, should do for the good of donors who are supporting all of us for our meditation practice. If we can develop concentration, it will be much better. If we can practice insight meditation, it will be better and better. Finally, if we attain at least first pattern fruition knowledge, it will give great result for those who offer to such noble persons. That's why, according to our ability and capability, we should try our best. As a basic, we all need to observe our morality, our best.
Yes, Andy. Next is also asking Andy for advice. In order to repay our parents, we should try to encourage them to have faith in the Triple Gem. This person is saying that the person's parents are very strong believers in Christianity, Roman Catholic, and is quite conservative. The father is a Catholic priest, and the mother is the deacon's wife, the priest's wife. And it is their profession to propagate Jesus' words all their life. Now, somehow, they have lost their only daughter to a strange Buddhist group in a far-away country. They are quite desperate that they have failed to save their child from such a wrong belief, and they also felt ashamed in front of their community. Furthermore, they blame this person to have broken one of the 10 Christian precepts, namely to respect the father and the mother. So the question is, in such a situation, can Bhante advise how to instill faith in the Triple Gem, cause and effect, rebirth, etc. in this person's parents?
They are priests. They are propagating Jesus' words. Now, no need to do anything. But if they are open-minded person, and if you are also open-minded one, you should make a discussion. I believe, as you came from Christian family, you know about the Christianity, the words of the Jesus too. Now you are practicing the teachings of the Buddha. So you know the teachings of the Buddha to a certain extent. Anyway, to make a discussion with those who believe in other religion, you need to know thoroughly about both the religion. And if your parents are open-minded ones, you should ask them to have the opportunity to make a discussion But you need to be careful. If their ego is too strong, please don't do this. Just wait the right time, the right condition to do discussion. But as you are daughter or son, in the position as a daughter, as a son, I think it will be a little bit difficult to do discussion with them too. According to the teachings of the Buddha, the most difficult persons to teach the Dharma is our parents and our relatives. They see us as a son and daughter. They see us as a nephew, as a brother, as a sister. Because of this reason, they don't think high. They don't want to listen. They are not ready to listen from son or daughter. Because of this reason, to be able to do for the good of our relatives and parents, we must be patient. We must wait to the right time until they see that what their sons and daughters are doing is very great. Only when they understand, they will be ready to listen or hear something. They will be considerate at the time. That's why now, let them choose their way. Let you maintain your way. It is the more important one to do at the present. Don't think much about your parents' belief too. We can't help anybody if they are not ready. Not because we are able to do helping, just because they are ready to receive our helping, we do helping. That's why this is what we all need to understand if we want to do for the good of others.
What happens if one of the parents, like this case, when I'm very sure maybe the priest is praying to Jesus that the lost daughter or son should come back to Jesus. I think I understand the mind of the priest. He's praying to Jesus that this lost daughter comes. So how do you deal with this kind of person when he thinks you're lost? So
as they believe in their God, with faith to their God, they are praying to see their daughter, the lost daughter, come back again. With faith, maybe they will be happy praying. Let them do. Okay? But we all need to understand, clinging towards something, whether living things or non-living things, is good for nobody. That's why spiritual practice must be the practice that can make or can remove our clinging. If we practice the Dharma, if we cling more and more to something, it is not the way to make free from suffering. Because of this reason, those who cling towards their lost son and daughter, they are on the way, not on the right way. That's why we all need to choose a way which can remove all these clinging. That's why we need compassion to help those who hold wrong view. But even though we have compassion towards them, if it is not yet the right time, we should keep silent, waiting the right time and the right condition to do helping them. But even up to their last hour or up to our last hour, we may not have the right condition to help them if they are not ready. As I let them do according to their faith, and let us maintain what we can. Let us maintain the way on which we are treating.
This question is also asking Bhante advice. When a lay person who is a non-Buddhist or free thinker is speaking about the bad attitude of our fellow nuns, how should we respond and explain to them?
There are two things, Dhamma and Pokala. Do you know Pokala? Pokala means person. There is a Dhamma and person. What should we learn? Or what should we depend on? On the Dhamma or on the person? Dhamma. If you are seeking for the Dhamma, be careful not to emphasize on the person, not to think much about the attitude of a certain meditator. That person doesn't represent to the Dhamma. Dhamma is Dhamma, person is person. We need to differentiate these two things. The Dhamma is all the time true. It is very beautiful. It is perfect. There is no defect in the Dhamma. If you see bad attitude of a certain person, just think about his attitude only. It is not related to the Dhamma. Dhamma is pure. Dhamma is clean. If someone really practices Dhamma, he will not practice in such way, or he will not hold such attitude too. As he stay holding such attitude, or she still have such attitude, Dhamma is not with her yet. But sometime we should understand this way too. Sometimes those who are curious about the behavior of those meditators who can practice meditation, they are looking, they are finding the fault. Yes, you will see the fault, because they are not perfect. Also, out of the time they are unaware of the Dhamma, at that time they are heedless. At that time their behavior will not be different from before they practice too. Because at that time they are unaware of the Dhamma. They are unmindful. We should understand the time they are mindful on the Dhamma, the time they are unmindful on the Dhamma. The time they are practicing meditation, if they are really focusing on their meditation object, you see very beautiful posture, behavior, everything will be fine. The same person, if he is heedless at the time, the behavior will not be beautiful. That's why we should understand this way. However, the most important thing is to depend on the Dhamma. If you depend on the Dhamma, and if you don't depend on anybody, it is the best. What I meant, you need to practice the Dhamma under the guidance of a certain teacher. It is not really you are depending. It is just finding the Dhamma, seeking for the Dhamma, to be able to depend on the Dhamma. The teacher is who is helping you to be able to depend on the Dharma, not on him. But if you see the teacher who practiced as he said, you can depend on that teacher, both on the Dharma and both on the person. But if you wish to do, but I want to suggest all of you, don't depend on Venerable U Revata. I'm teaching all of you to be able to depend on the Dharma, not on me. This is the most important thing to understand.
But now we need practice advice. The next question. This one is on Mara. There are 7 questions on Mara. Can I read the first one? Even Venerable Ananda was influenced by Mara and therefore could not ask the Buddha the last important question. Is there any possibility for us to know if we are influenced by Mara or another unwholesome force?
Mainly for all of us. We are influenced by our own Mara, which are defilements. Defilements are really our own Mara. It destroys us, it harms us, and it let us choose the way which is bad for us. That's why we all need to find this Mara and fight against them. The real Mara will not visit us, mostly.
Okay, I read these 2 questions together. What can we do to prevent this from happening? What can we do when it had already happened?
Suppose you are the one who is practicing mindfulness of breathing meditation and who could get the nimitta too. And then you got sick, you feel depressed, you think to go home. This is Mara. This is Mara. You must prevent yourself from not going home. If you're going back home, you make friends with your Mara. This is your nearest Mara. This body always frighten you because of fear of losing something. You may choose what is the opposite of the way you are on. If you allow yourself to choose the way which you can't continue your meditation practice, it will be Mara. There may be many similar things too. So you must be careful. Such Mara are around all of us.
This one can we talk about the Mara? There are 4 questions. Will Mara go to hell after this life? Will there always be a Mara? How come Mara is a Brahma? As Mara is a Brahma, what are his wholesome deeds?
Mara is not the Brahma, Mara is a Deva. So for about the Mara, it is Pranimitta Vasavati, the heaven of the gods, who bring under their sway things created by others. There are 6 celestial planes. It is the 6th one. Only Deva.
If the Mara is the Deva, will you or she go to hell?
Anybody, those who did unwholesome, they will give according to their karma.
This question is asking Sayadaw about attainment of first jhana. This person is saying that Sayadaw gave her a very good advice, which she will make sure to follow. The advice is never give up. Could Sayadaw please say what was the shortest and the longest time among your disciples to attain the first jhana?
Very difficult question. Because we can't say how long does a yogi need to take time to attain first jhana. It depends on their past bharami, past practice. It depends on present practice too. If those who have practiced successfully meditation, such as jhana attainment in their past and nearest past, they can develop concentration very quickly. But for those who practice in the past but not near to this life, they may need to take longer time to develop concentration. That's why it will not be the same, it will be different from one another. We can't say the exact time.
Okay, maybe I read the next question. The Buddha taught us if somebody practiced and cultivated the 4 bases of spiritual power, it will be possible to exist in this world for one inexorable doom or more. Could Auntie tell us how many years is this doom?
But according to the teachings of the Buddha, those who practice the 4 foundations of accomplishment, 4 Etipada means 4 foundations of accomplishment. In the Mahaveka Samyutta, there the Buddha said, Imi ko bhikkhave chatona Etipadana bhavitata Bhuligatata bhikkhu asavanankaya anasavan ceto vimukti pinya vimukti Daitteva dhamme sayam abhinya Satchikatva upasambhaja viharati. Because of practicing these 4 foundations of accomplishment, if they practice again and again, it will be for the asavanankaya, for the cessation of all the asava. Asava means all the impurity, all the defilements. Ceto vimukti, it is for liberation, the highest liberation, which is the Arahant path and fruition. Daitteva dhamme, in this very life, sayam by oneself, abhinya satchikatva upasambhaja viharati, penetrating by oneself, penetrating the deep Dharma, he can live in this very life. Because of practicing, in short, what we can say, accomplishments here means the arising of jhana, magga and phala. The arising of jhana concentration, the attaining of path and fruition knowledge is because of practicing 4 foundations of accomplishment. I didn't see this. I don't know where does the questioner see.
This question is quite long. The gist is asked Ante the differences in the time of ultimate prophecy of the 2 chief disciples. We'll read the context. Honorable Sir, Ante U Revata, we read that our Gautama Buddha received his ultimate prophecy at the time of 4 Asankaya and 100,000 kapas ago, and he was a hermit called Sumedha. At that time, Dipankara Buddha, who gave the prophecy, mentioned to Sumedha his name as a Buddha in future, as well as the name of his 2 chief disciples, Bante Sariputta and Bante Mahamangalanda. However, we understand that the chief disciple of our Buddha received their ultimate prophecy only at the time of Hanumanasi Buddha, which is 3 Asankya Kapas later, after the Ankara Buddha. How should we understand this difference about the time of ultimate prophecy of the 2 chief disciples?
What about the omniscient Buddha? At least, who is going to be omniscient Buddha? Who have received definite prophecy from a certain Buddha? He must fulfill Bharami, at least 4 incalculable and 100,000 eons. This is for the one who is going to fulfill to be omniscient Buddha. The shortest time for him to fulfill Bharami. For about the Pachika Buddha, solitary Buddha or private Buddha or silent Buddha, they fulfill 2 incalculable and 100,000 eons. For about the chief disciple, they need to fulfill 1 incalculable and 100,000 eons. This is what we should understand. Even though they receive the definite prophecy from a certain Buddha, the duration of the time they need to fulfill is 1 incalculable and 100,000 eons. This is only what we can understand. This is what I can give an answer. For about how they do, it is what it is difficult to explain.
In Mahabharati Nimana Sutta, the Buddha mentioned that the food offered to him before he attained Buddhahood and the food offered to him before his Parinibbana are of equally great merits, bring great results. Question is, before the attainment of Buddhahood, the Bodhisattva is just a Putujana. Why is it that the food offered to a Putujana equals in terms of merits to the food offered to a Sammasambuddha?
The first one is the meal or the food that support the Bodhisattva to be a Buddha. It is a great support for the Bodhisattva to be a Buddha. So the last meal, as we all know, to sustain this body, we need food. What I understand, what the Buddha meant. The first food that he received support for his enlightenment. The last food that offered to him is to sustain his body before he took final nibbana. As these two are the two things that provide. The first one which provide to be a Buddha, the last one which he received as a last. Because of this reason, what I understand, he prays for this to me. Just he praising, I believe there will be many other time what people got the opportunity to make an offering to the Buddha. It is also very much grateful. It is also, they can give very great result too. But these 2 times, before enlightenment and after enlightenment, before enlightenment and before taking final nibbana, these 2 are something special for the Buddha. Because of this reason, he distinguished these 2 things. This is what I understand. Now, if I see some explanation, I will give an answer more. Okay?
The next question is asking Bhante for advice also. It's quite long. It's like a letter to Bhante. We belong to those meditators who try to develop concentration for many years already. Living in a foreign country, we bear many things with patience. Also, we try to be patient with our practice and our mind. As Bhante says, patience is the way to Nibbana. We have so much chanda for knowing and seeing the truth. But our karma and paramis don't let us do and practice as we wish. As a simile, it feels like sitting at the buffet with the most delicious food, but no mouth to eat. As now, we are so fortunate to practice under the guidance of our wise Kalyana Mitta, but because of lacking in concentration, we can't really make use and put into practice all the rare and profound wisdom that they are able to teach. So sometimes we feel unhappy or even desperate. As Bhante said, we don't know where we will be reborn next, and whether we will meet Buddha Sasana again and have such supportive conditions to practice again. So could Bhante please encourage us how to encourage ourselves again and again, not to worry, but to peacefully and patiently continue, although the sense of urgency pressures us to be quick in realizing Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Practicing patience will lead to Nibbana. Yes, it is really true. Who can practice patience? Who know the benefit of practicing patience? Only who knows the benefit of practicing patience, they can practice patience. Those who practice patience, their understanding, their wisdom grows. Those who don't practice patience, their wisdom will not grow. But for about the realization of the Dharma, we need to consider about our main goal, which is Nibbana. When are we going to attain final Nibbana depends on how we fulfill Bharami in this very life and in many past lives too. Even though we are practicing patience, even though we are fulfilling Bharami, how long it has been. If we think much about the realization of the Dharma or the attainment of the Nibbana, if we really want to be the one who realizes Nibbana. We must practice patience day by day, reflecting how long the Bodhisattva fulfilled Bharami to realize Nibbana. The Bodhisattva has fulfilled Bharami for 4 incalculable and 100,000 years, fulfilling 10 Bharamis and another 20 Bharamis too. It is not only one life. It is not 2 lives. It is not 3 lives. It is not 100 lives. It is not 1,000 lives. The Bodhisattva was very persistent on which what he is doing. In the same way, for all of us, those who want to realize the Dhamma as they really are, those who want to make an end of suffering, those who want to attain Nibbana, need to wait until times ripen, practicing meditation and practicing patience. How many existences do we need to continue? It is what we don't know. But if we talk about the goal, the final goal, reflecting all the Buddhas and all the chief disciples and all the great disciples, all the ordinary disciples, those who have fulfilled Bharami to be enlightened one, spending enough time, continuing one life after another. If you think just about our attainment in this very life, we will not sustain our effort, our practicing of patience, our willingness, and everything we need to do in this very life. What we are doing, practicing meditation with the mind which inclined to realize the Dhamma, and which with the mind which inclined to attain Nibbana. So we are moving towards another shore where there is no arising and perishing, where there is only real happiness. We are moving forwards day by day. One day we will reach there. With this understanding, until I reach there, I will move forward, practicing patience. Only then you will have right attitude. This is a very short existence. If we haven't fulfilled Bharami to realize the Dhamma in this very life, we need to fulfill Bharami to realize the Dhamma and to attain Nibbana in the future. So we must continue moving forwards. If we don't stop, day by day we are near to the another shore. If we stop, it is a day that we all need to improve it, to follow the teachings of the Buddha, and not to follow the traditions. Not only in Burma, but also in many Buddhist countries. They are following many traditions. Many they are not following the old teachings of the Buddha. This is the main problem that we have in every Buddhist country. This is a similar things that happen in every Buddhist country. As the Buddha said, Easy to do is what is unbeneficial to oneself, and difficult to do is what is really beneficial for oneself. As people might incline to do something easier, but unbeneficial. If they are going to choose for their practice, they might incline to choose what is easier for them. The actual way leading to Nibbana, it is not easy one. It is difficult, it is profound, it is deep. Because of the nature of human's mind, their mind inclined to do something easy, what is unbeneficial. Because of this reason, they can't meet with the true teachings of the Buddha. This is what is happening in our country.
Can you give an example?
What?
Can you give a concrete example?
Concrete example. If I need to give concrete example, I need to explain what is the true teachings of the Buddha. Only at the time you will understand what many people follow practicing. But in brief, what I can explain all of you. The day the Bodhisattva enlightened, on that day he went to the Bodhi tree. Under the Bodhi tree, he practiced mindfulness of breathing meditation up to 4th jhana. And then he continued Tankasila and 8 attainments. Based on 8 attainments, he continued to practice supernatural power. The first one is recollection of the past lives. It is in the first watch of the night he attained this supernatural power. With this attainment, he knows ultimate mentality and materiality, which are the first noble truth, the noble truth of suffering. In the second watch of the night, he practiced another supernatural power based on 8 attainments. He attained divine eyes. With this attainment, he realized cause and effect, causal relationship, or dependent origination. He realized good begets good, bad begets bad. So this is understanding the second noble truth, the noble truth of origin of suffering. It's the object of the vipassana meditation. They are the first noble truth and the second noble truth. The first noble truth is ultimate mentality and materiality. The second noble truth is cause and their effects. Those who have realized these two truths, the suffering and the origin of suffering, they are ready to practice insight meditation. At that time, the Bodhisattva continued to practice insight meditation, contemplating impermanent suffering non-self, seeing the arising and perishing of suffering and the origin of suffering. Finally, when his insight knowledge matured, he changed into Bhanga Jnana, which pay attention only to perishing. Because of practicing so, his insight knowledge matured, and then he attained path and fruition knowledge step by step. This is the way the Bodhisattva practiced for his enlightenment. This is the old method. If we want to realize Nibbana, we need to develop concentration, and we need to know and see the first noble truth and second noble truth. Only at that time you need to continue insight meditation for your enlightenment. But nowadays, many, they don't encourage meditators to develop concentration. Without concentration, it is possible to realize the Dharma as they really are. Yogis are instructed in this way. As the Buddha said, bhikkhus develop concentration, the one who is concentrated will know and see the truth as they really are. But they say, without concentration, you can know, you can see the Four Noble Truths, you can realize Nibbana. This is not the way the Buddha taught. That's why, if there is lacking of concentration, there will be lacking of realizing. Okay? This is what I can explain in brief.
Okay. Next question. Bhagavati introduced to us the methods to check if someone has attained the noble path.
When you attain, the teacher will check you.
Bhante, because I'm not an Arya, I cannot take Nibbana as an object at my death moment. Therefore, can I choose one of these objects? Of Buddha, image, the light, listening to Dhamma talks via CDs, Sayadaw U Revata's image. If I can choose one of those objects, where will I be reborn in the next life?
Buddha Nusati, listening the Dhamma, and the image. 3. Buddha Nusati, this is meditation object. If you can practice at the near-death moment, you will be reborn somewhere in the human realm or in the Deva realm. If you incline to be reborn as a human or as a Deva. What about listening to the Dhamma? If your mind is really listen to the Dhamma, the time when you turn on the Dhamma CD, you will be able to reborn in a good realm too. If wholesome states of mind arise because of listening to the Dhamma. If you see Bhikkhu image with respect, so according to the meditator's experience, at the near-death moment, the image of a bhikkhu appear, especially the bhikkhu that they respect in their lifetime. Because of this reason, wholesome states of mind arise or arose. Also, some, their mind inclined to be a bhikkhu in the new existence. Because of this reason, if the last object is an ordained person image, as we are Buddhists, we believe in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, it will be wholesome karma too. Because of this reason, we will be reborn in a good realm, according to our ignorance, according to our attachment and clinging.
Okay, this question is on fruit juice. How can we decide which type of juices are allowable to drink in the evening?
Only what we should know is unallowable one.
I think how to decide. I think the person wants to know how to decide. I think actually the person who has listed down for avocado, papaya, pineapple and carrot. So these four, is it allowable?
Allowable.
Okay.
So from the Buddhist monastic code, The way the allowance for juice drink is phrased, fruits, leaves, and flowers are mentioned as a class, whereas canes and roots are not, suggests that the great standards should not be used to extend the allowance for sugar cane juice, water lily root juice to include the juice from other canes or roots. Juice drinks include the freshly squeezed juice of sugar cane, water lily root, or fruits except grain, all leaves except cooked greens, and the flowers except licorice. What is licorice?
It's a medicinal root. It's supposed to be very beneficial for the health. It has a slightly sweet taste to it, strong flavor. They use it in the toothpaste. What's the name of that toothpaste? There's a name, Indian toothpaste that has that licorice root in it.
According to the commentary, the juice must be strained and maybe warmed by the sunlight, but not heated over a fire.
Does it have to be mixed with water, Bhante?
Mixed with water.
It must be mixed. It cannot be pure. It has to be mixed with some water.
Yes, with water it should do. Not to heat over a fire. Yeah. In discussing the great standards, the commentaries say that grain is a great fruit, and thus the juice of any one of the 9 large fruits, palmyra fruit, coconut, jackfruit, breadfruit, border gourd, white gourd, musk melon, watermelon, and squash. Squash. Please teach me. According to the commentary, allowable leaf juice drinks include juice squeezed from leaves that are considered food, such as lettuce, spinach, or beet greens, as well as from leaves that are classed as medicines. Health drinks such as wheatgrass juice would thus be allowable. Leaf juice may be mixed with cold water or warm in the sunlight. The prohibition against consuming the juice from the cooked vegetables in the afternoon covers all cooked leaves that are considered food, as well as any medicinal leaves cooked in liquids that are classed as food, such as milk. The commentary's discussion of flower juice drinks allowable and unallowable for the afternoon shows that licorice flower juice was used to make alcohol, which is why the canon does not include it is allowable in this class. The commentary extends this prohibition to cover any kind of flower juice prepared in such a way that it will become alcoholic. The commentary goes on to say, though that licorice, flower juice and other flower juice not prepared so that they will become toddy are allowable in the morning.
Okay, what about carrot, beet, potatoes, cucumber? The carrot root, I know they serve that.
Carrot, okay.
What about beet? That's similar to carrot.
Beet.
Beet is red, very red, round, sweet root vegetable. Sometimes we get beet greens, which is allowable. I'm wondering.
I don't know what is beet.
dark red. It had,
You make sugar, sometimes sugar, you take sugar from this beetroot.
yes,
You make sugar puff.
similar to carrot in some ways. Also root.
Okay, I think this. Finish?
Yes, Sunday finished. We still have time. Do you want to stop? Or want to open questions to the floor? Anyone want to ask Auntie any question?
I was just wondering if devas, do they breathe? Is it considered pana? Do they practice anapana? If ever you do devas breathe, are they pana? Can they practice anapana?
Two.
If the devas in their real
Oh.
practice anapana.
Yes. They can practice.
Oh, they breathe.
Yes, they breathe.
Any other questions?
What I observed in looking for different traditions, I observed that every major tradition or every religion, they say we have the true teachings or the true path and so on. And what is your opinion about this Bodhisattva path? Because there's a very specific path, Bodhisattva path, and for example, Theravada, I have the impression is more focused on Ahamshita. So let's call it the path of Ahams. So what are the differences from your point of view?
Actually, the Buddha taught the way to be enlightened, fully enlightened Buddha. Also, Buddha taught the way to be Pachega Buddha. Buddha taught the way to be Arahantship. This is the way the Buddha taught. In the Theravada tradition, in the Theravada teachings, there is actually the Buddha also explained how to fulfill to be a Buddha. If someone wants to be a Buddha, they need to fulfill practicing the way to be fully enlightened Buddha. Also, if they want, they can practice the way to be Pachega Buddha. Also, if they want to be chief disciple, great disciple, ordinary disciple, Buddha taught the way to practice for each of them. But Buddha never looked down anybody. If you are going to choose to be ordinary Arahant, Buddha will not look down you. If you are going to choose to be a Bodhisattva, Buddha will not look down you. It is according to your choice. But to be a fully self-enlightened Buddha, only after we have received definite prophecy from a studied Buddha, at that time we will be sure. Otherwise, not yet sure. In the same way for Pachega Buddha, in the same way for great disciple, chief disciple, or about ordinary disciple, according to their practice, according to their sense of urgency, they will be. So everybody say, we are teaching the true teachings of the Buddha. Yes, everybody say. There will be no teachers who say that I'm not teaching the true teachings. This is what we all need to understand. But we must take our responsibility whether that teacher is really teaching the true teachings of the Buddha. If you don't know your responsibility, you cannot know what is a true teaching and what they are teaching to. That's why we all need to take this responsibility to check whether they are teaching, leading us the true teaching of the Buddha. Okay, we will share merits done today. Idam me punyam asavakayam vaham hotu. Idam me punyam nibbanasa pacayo hotu Mama Punya Bhagam Sabba Satanam Vajemi Te Sabbe Vesamam Punya Bhagam